So I had a conversation last night with one of my friends, and we had a bunch of things. We were talking about differences and having a discussion. And one of the things that came up was the topic of Easter, and you know how that's coming up fairly soon. And so we're discussing that why every Easter we celebrate the redemption of the sins of man and the resurrection of a true and loving Son of God, Jesus Christ, and why we celebrate this by eating colorful eggs that pass through rabbit's ass. Um, so this made me think, because there's a connection everywhere. I mean, there's ways the church finds connections from every story in the Bible to modern context, and I was wondering how this is done and why it hasn't been done. And I figured it out. But a couple things I was thinking about. First thing, why does 33% of the world believe in Christianity, and that they believe that the most painful thing to go through is the pains that Jesus has endured, and we celebrate that by imitating those pains through a rabbit's passing of a giant egg. Yet, anal pain is frowned upon, and gays are persecuted by more than half of 33%. I also found it funny that I had to search Google Images and search for Christianity pie chart to get that particular fact. And if you look at the picture, the image is actually saved as religionpie.jpg, which is somewhat appropriate. Okay, so what makes these particular rabbits special? Uh, well, to explain this big gap that was left, I decided to do what most churches have done, and that's to just add in, a couple of words and basically some thoughts that came from God and follow with a similar trend that's been mentioned in the Bible to explain, changing feelings and thoughts that can't be expressed through just modern ideas, modern problems that didn't come about 2,000 years ago. So let me explain how God jumped from the death of Jesus to colorful eggs passing through a bunny's ass, because he did. Okay, I'd like to start by using a catalyst, which is often used just to explain a major event that was otherwise, they didn't document. It was undocumented in religious texts, so it's often coming from a myth, a story, a legend, a recurring theme. But this isn't a fairly recurring theme. In fact, it's unique. So therefore, the catalyst must be unique. So bear with me here. So only special bunnies give birth to eggs, and colorful ones at that. Now, these bunnies are chosen. They're not given a choice. They are segregated for who they are. They're fairies. Now, let me make this clear. I'm not making any jump. I'm just saying a word. It's not an explanation. I'm not implying anything. I'm just giving them a name, calling them they're fairies. Now, these bunnies, or fairies, not out of free will, are forced to give birth many times on one day every year. And as most women would describe, the most painful thing they can go through is childbirth. Not just because of the physical pain they have to endure, but because just the emotional toll it takes. That it's, they're going through all this pain for a very long time, not just for themselves. In fact, I could also say that, be so bold to jump and appreciate any feedback on this, but that women would do this more for other people, not for themselves, for the father of the child, for the family of the child. They're not just doing this for themselves. In fact, it's one of the most selfless acts a woman can go through, and I think it's fantastic, as would most people. I can't find a single person that at least follows this religious view called Christianity that would object with this. Now, again, back to the rabbits. So, we can assume, well actually, let's just jump back to this. We can assume that the recreation of a woman's most horrible test, or wonderful test as well, can be directly correlated to the pain that Jesus suffered. Both suffering for someone else, similar to our rabbits, and suffering so we can all enjoy the fruits of their pain. Now, back to the rabbits. These fairies, they give birth every year to colorful eggs, filled not with regular life, but with an unnatural and unique center, one that most people would enjoy, even though they wouldn't all do it openly. In fact, some people have to enjoy secretly. Now, let me make this clear. These bunnies are gay. Now, they're fairies, and which is something they didn't choose. They suffered greatly for, not just on this one day every year when they have to give birth, but every day of the year. I mean, they are all the criticism from all the other bunnies for being different, for something they were born with, and every year when they go through all this pain, we put all the differences aside, and we celebrate the joy that their rainbow-colored eggs bring us. And now, the reason that the church has never made this connection, that giving birth of eggs from rabbits is similar to the resurrection of Jesus, is because, well, the rabbits are gay. Church doesn't want to admit that being gay is something God would thrust upon us unwillingly. They believe it's a choice, which is why they will not support gay marriage, because it is not right in the eyes of God. So they say, God's given us a choice. If we choose to disobey Him and be gay, then the church can't support your decision to get married. Now, what if we can prove that God created us one way or the other? Then we could celebrate the two people, like the joining of the two people coming together, and under God's loving arms, can't we? Now, if we can prove that God did this, then we've come across the main objection that the church has, which is that God does not, well, they give us a choice. He's not forcing this upon us. Now, so here I'm saying the rabbits are. They are not given a choice. They have to do this every year. But a wonderful thing comes out of it, similar just to marriage, how a wonderful thing can happen. Now, I want to make this clear that there's a way to prove this. I believe that we can show that there is this connection. Now, if two people decide to get married, if the church performs a test to show that God agrees with this, that He did give us different kinds of people, not just a choice between lifestyles. And now I have just this test that can be performed that can show that God does agree with us. All thanks to the wonderful holiday of Easter and the rabbits. Now, what I suggest is when a couple gets married, they go to church, they pick representatives. The couple picks one of their people, and one of the two people, the church picks an egg. The person sits on the egg. Now, if the egg hatches, then not only does it show that they're fit for giving birth and raising a child, but they've completed God's cycle of resurrection, which is bringing life to that which would have normally died on a straight man's plate next to the bacon. Now, this way, the church can accept God's message, and everyone can live in harmony, knowing that the true meaning of Easter is the same meaning we've had all along, only with the part about the eggs passing through the anus of a rabbit was left out of the Sunday school version. Now, my next lecture, because I seem to be covering everything here and probably have enough topics to go over, so I'm going to go over them in my next lecture, which was why, well, the main topic of it is why we should bring back the part about eggs passing through the anus of a rabbit to Sunday school, and I will show you my pop-up illustration book, which is releasing nationwide this Easter. Enjoy!